to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those that make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 25th meeting of Wilkes-Barre City Council. Will the clerk call the roll?
Mr. Barrett?
Here.
Mr. Belishko is excused. Mr. Mirren?
Here.
Mrs. McClay?
Here.
Mr. Brooks?
Here.
Also in attendance, Mayor George Brown, Controller Tony Thomas, Administrator Charlie McCormick, Assistant City Attorney Maureen Collins, Assistant City Clerk Tracy Smith, and Administrative Assistant Lisa Sanfilippo. Good evening and welcome to tonight's regular session of City Council. Please turn off all cell phones. Following are examples of some important council rules. They are not intended to be a complete list. Please adhere as closely as possible to the 5-minute speaker presentation time limit. No persons are allowed to address the council from beyond the rail, except the speaker at the dais who has the floor. The chairperson shall preserve order and decorum and prevent attacks on personalities. The chairperson shall determine all points of order. No persons except city officers or their representatives shall be permitted within the rail during any meeting without the express permission of council. Council kindly asks that the public please vacate the building within 10 minutes after the meeting adjourns. And finally, when members of the administration are speaking, please use the microphone.
Okay. We have 7 items on the agenda this evening. Would anyone like to speak on the pending legislation? That's those 7 items on the agenda. Mr. Troy.
Hello. He's Sam Troy and Joseph Lane in Wilkes-Barre. Listen, the good thing we have these LCA grants to approve, otherwise there'd be a non-agenda totally, right? Let me just comment that I very much oppose to the first of all, there's some specifics lacking, and I guess this might have been revealed in the work session. But what is CV Ltd? I know that's the owner of Penn Plaza, I assume. CV Ltd. On the last item, consent agenda resolutions continued, designating George Brown, etc., to facilitate and assist in obtaining a county grant of $307,000. That's not peanuts. Now I realize not all of it may be approved. I know that. I know the parameters here. Can anybody, I assume that's a private concern, CV Ltd., that owns the owners of Penn Plaza, I guess? Is that true? Oh, I guessed it right? Well, that's good. I mean, I think that should be spelled out there. I feel that that sort of thing is a realm of private enterprise. If they want to improve, that's all well and good. If private enterprise wants to make those sort of improvements on their facility, then, this is certainly all worthwhile. But why should this money? Now, I realize, I mean, I got to check with Mr. Pyshinsky on this. I keep seeing all this money being approved. I know the city acts as a conduit. That's a good word, right? I learned that at U of P. Conduit, the money flows through and it comes, either in full or partial amounts to this entity. And I realize what's going on here, but if this is a private concern, can't we, Mayor or Councilman, use some of this money to establish something that directly affects in a positive way the taxpayers? Like all the things that I've been advocating, for instance, an athletic center like Kingston has, a cultural arts center. I know Mr. Brown claims we have a lot of that in the city, but we can always use more of that, Mr. Brown. Or perhaps like they have, I hate to compare cities. I always get in trouble for that with the mayor. Pittston, now I'm not comparing a mayor, but they do have a great program up there called the Building Blocks Program. Why can't we have, let's not compare Pittston.
Mr. Troy, stay on the agenda.
I'm sorry.
Of those 7 items, you can.
I just feel that, getting back to the agenda, I feel that let's take that money and redirect it towards something that would benefit the taxpayers directly. Let's have the city apply for more of this money. And as far as money going to King's College Safety and Security Project, that's almost $500,000. What specifically is that going to be used for? Just to upgrade their, why does LSA money have to go towards that? King's is a very well-endowed institution, and I've been over this sort of thing before. The quid pro quo situation, where we do something for, I say the city does something for Kings, and Kings does something for the city in return. That doesn't exist. It seems like the mayor and you people are just kowtowing, that's another good term, to these special interests to funnel more money to them. Kings doesn't need $500,000 more to, for us. I mean, a project here that is, I mean, phase 3 yet? Phase 3? What were phase 1 and 2 about? And this, now they want $500,000 here? That seems to me a little obscene, a little bit up in the ozone layer, that kind of money. The Challenger baseball field, I guess. The city of Wilkes-Barre, another questionable amount that I see is the almost $350,000 going to Cole Street for a backup generator. Now, why is that all of a sudden necessary? And is it that much money for a backup generator? I just don't understand. I mean, there's no sense of frugality. There's no sense of what I see as a responsibility towards. Thank God people gamble and this money's available, right? All this LSA money. But it seems to me, in general, and I have no objection to the first thing about emergency services. It seems to be an enormous amount for the what is it, an ambulance purchase project? You're telling me that we don't have any such ambulances now? I mean, I'm just saying that I think it's not a healthy thing. It's not an ethical thing to recklessly designate, okay, we're not spending necessarily. I realize it's coming from the state. I think it's reckless, it's morally reckless to designate this money when it could be used directly for the people in the city of Wilkes-Barre for various things to benefit them. So I would urge council to put this on the back burner and not vote on it at least tonight until more discussion is rendered. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to make comments on the 7 items on the
comments made no dent at all.
as pending legislation? Yes, Brian. Mr. Ferry.
Hi, everybody. Brian Ferry, 147 South Washington Street. I would like to echo some of Sam's concerns, particularly regarding the CV Limited Penn Plaza revitalization project. You know, as an urban planner, and I don't want this to come across as negative or pejoratively if anyone from that organization is here, but Penn Plaza is pardon my language, but a piss poor example of urban design. It is very poorly designed. It has, I did a little bit of quick research. It covers an area of about 6.6 acres. And of that acreage, 1.4, almost 1.5 is utilized for building space. So that gives us a floor area ratio, because it's all one story, a floor area ratio of 0.2. So a quarter of that lot is actually productive. If this entity is looking to make some more revenue, they should be looking at redeveloping additional parts of that parcel. 6.6 acres is a lot of land, I think we could all agree, especially in our downtown core. And for a small fraction of it to be utilized as building space is reckless. And it's a terrible use of space. And I don't think that we should be, as Sam Troy said, kowtowing to organizations that are, you know, have all of this space available and just aren't utilizing it. We need to be capitalizing that. And if these organizations would be willing to say, look, we're looking to redevelop parts of this parcel utilizing urban planning best practices, then by all means, if there are concerns regarding funding in redeveloping part of that parcel, by all means. But this, I just can't get on board with throwing $307,000 at what is an exemplary case of terrible urban planning and terrible architecture. I think that's about it. Also regarding that, the application here says improving safety and accessibility along with removing aging trees. Would that be a straight up removal or removing and replacing. I think there's some missing information here. So, everything else I'm on board with. King's College, do you know if that application, is that something that is backed up by the most recent update to the King's College master plan? Is that something that they would be able to say, here's where our recommendations for this come from? So just curious regarding that.
Sure.
That's everything I've got.
Yep, so I asked the same question on Tuesday. The trees will be replaced, and Mr. Butchko, Tom, would you want to reply? Give him some information?
Hi, Tom Butchko, Facilities from King's College. So the work that we're doing around campus for this next phase that we're asking for. Yes, sir. The work that we're looking to do as part of this phase is to improve some of the lighting around the edges of campus and the borders of campus, as well as replacing some security cameras that we have across the campus as well. The security cameras are used on a regular basis by our folks. It's monitored 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Quite frequently, we're approached by the city of Wilkes-Barre to provide some backup video surveillance information that we use. So these are systems that we have in place that are used for the benefit of the college and for the community as well. And insofar as like our progress with the master plan, yes, the development of the campus and the surrounding area as well that we're looking to see about moving things forward with. So, okay.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Anyone else like comments on pending legislation, the 7 items? Thank you.
Okay, so,
Mrs. Payne,
Yes.
yes,
is it possible to vote on all these separately?
sure.
If everyone is agreeable to that?
Yeah.
Yep, fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All
I
right,
should have asked you, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
okay, so we're going to vote on each one separately. So the first one is the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Fund. We'll need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Barrett,
Second.
second by Mrs. McClay. Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mr. Mirren,
Yes.
Mrs. McClay.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
Okay, the second one will be the LSA grant for the Fire Department Emergency Medical Service Ambulance. We need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mirren,
Second?
second by Mr. Barrett. Barrett,
Yes.
Mirren,
Yes.
McClay,
Yes.
and Brooks.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is for the King's College Safety and Security Project Phase 3. We need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barrett,
Second?
second by Mr. Mirren. Which one was that? Barrett. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the King's College. Let me make sure we're on the right one.
Yep.
King's College. Okay, motion by Mr. Barrett, second by
Yes.
Mr. Mirren. Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mr. Mirren,
Yes.
Mrs. McClay,
Yes.
and Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
It's Barrett and Mirren. The next one will be the Wyoming Valley Challenger Baseball Field Lighting Project. Motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. McClay,
Second?
second by Mr. Mirren. Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mr. Mirren,
Yes.
Mrs. McClay,
Yes.
and Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
That's McClay and Mirren. The next one is the Wilkes-Barre Backup Generator Project at Cole Street Complex. We need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. McClay. Second.
Second?
Second by Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mr. Mirren.
Yes.
Mrs. McClay.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
Okay. Which one are we on? The challengers is Mirren, it was the second. So he signed in the wrong spot.
Generator.
Okay, next will be the, one for the, the South Main Street and Hazel Street. It's the Wyoming Valley Alcohol, right? Am I on the right one?
No, no.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, CV LTD's Penn Plaza revitalization. We need a motion and a second. Motion, second? No one? Okay, that one doesn't. And then we need a motion and a second on the minutes. Motion on the minutes?
Missed the
Wait.
Oh,
motion.
wait,
So,
Hold on.
The minutes.
alcohol, Wyoming Valley Alcohol.
you didn't do that one yet.
Oh, okay, that's separate.
That's the last
Okay.
one. The one that nobody motioned in second was the CV Ltd. Penn
Got it.
Plaza.
Motion on the minutes.
Motion on the minutes is Mrs. McClay,
Second,
second by Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett?
yes.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mrs. McClay?
Yes.
And Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Which one are you in? Full Street generator.
Okay, we're
That
done.
was McClay and Barrett. And then the last resolution is the Wyoming Valley Alcohol and Drug Service Computer Purchase Project. We need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. McClay,
Second.
second by Mr. Marin. Mr. Barrett?
Abstain, conflict.
Mr. Marin?
Yes.
Mrs. McClay?
Yes.
And Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
McClay and Marin. Okay, that's all the business that we have.
All right, council presentations. Councilman Barrett,
Nothing since Tuesday, thank you, sir.
Councilman Marin,
Oh, I have nothing since Tuesday
and
as well.
Councilwoman McClay.
I don't have anything in particular. Thank you for working quickly on cleaning up those properties. I just, in general, wanted to ask, is code enforcement going out and doing sweeps, or can we do sweeps? Because on my way in here, just going down one street in particular, there was couches on porches, there was a mattress on and I'm going to send you them, but I'm just thinking in general, can we do citywide sweep or even, smaller? Because I'm sure that I can probably go down each street and probably find parking violations, code violations, health.
I guess I'd rather
Thank you.
Kathy, Councilwoman, we haven't finished the ones that we started from the beginning, so there's still a few of the districts that we're going to continue with, and that's basically a sweep
Okay.
of the district. And the ones that we have done, Mr. Barrett, you know this for a fact, and Mr. Belisco, I mean, we hit everything. I mean, we walk the neighborhoods, we look at everything from the front of the house. Sometimes we go to the back if we can, and it's really all intensive. So we still have a couple to go before the bad weather starts, so they're still in the planning stage.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good. All right, public comments. Virginia Thomas.
Hi, I'm Virginia Thomas. I live on Dana Street in Wilkes-Barre between Hazel and Park Ave. This is just kind of a continuation from when I was here last month with regard to the condition of Dana Street between Hazel and Park Ave since the water company and gas company came through and did their projects. Mr. Mayor, you had mentioned to me that you thought maybe that next week after last month's meeting that they were going to be coming out to finish that street, finish up the work on the street. Monday, after the meeting, they came through and they put no parking signs on the right-hand side of the street between Hazel and Park Ave. No workers, no trucks, no nothing. A couple days later, they came in, they put no parking signs on the left side of the street. Those parking signs are still there. There's still been no work done on that street. We mentioned that there was a pipe sticking up out of the ground. Labor Day weekend, there was water coming out of that pipe. We tried to call the water company, couldn't get anybody. It was a holiday weekend. I called the non-emergency police department. They sent out a fire truck. Fire truck said they can't do anything about it, but they would get somebody. A couple days later, somebody came and put it was marked Pennsylvania American Water, PAW, a cone over the pipes that were sticking up in the road. That section of Dana Street at night, when everybody's home, there is no parking spaces available. It's that crowded. And when you have a cone in the middle of the road, traffic has to swerve this way or that way to go around it. And I'm really surprised that there hasn't been any cars hit there. A couple days later, the cone was moved and just sitting in the middle of the road. I don't know whether it was kids did it or what. Nothing's been done with that pipe. There's no water coming out of it anymore, so that's a good thing. Let me think here. Now the cone is completely gone. Last Saturday morning, there was a knock on my door at 8:30. Somebody from, I'm assuming it was this RLE, which was the contractor that was doing that work, they had left a small, I call it like a steamroller, that had been parked up closer to the Hazel Street side. It's been there since this project started in June. It's been parked there every day, every night, okay? It's missing. They knocked on my door and wanted to know if I knew who took this piece of equipment off of the street. I don't know. Who's coming back and doing this road? The road was in bad shape before they started this project. The ruts, the gullies, you go this way like a roller coaster ride. A couple of you guys have been up and driven down that street. It's a mess, and it's a disgrace. Why are these utilities allowed to get away with this? This isn't right. We pay our taxes, we pay our utility bills. Why do they get away with this? We can't get away with it. Why do they? That's my thoughts.
Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. I am so sorry that you have to keep coming back here again, and you're absolutely right. These utilities are getting away with too much. Any updates, Mr. Mayor?
You're absolutely right. And when the last meeting we talked about it, I give you information that we get, okay?
Right.
And we have trouble throughout the entire city with utilities cutting up the roads. There's a lot of them. And one is Hanover Street, which is a mess. It's a real mess. It's one of our worst streets. I'm going to reach out to the water company tomorrow. I'm going to have Charlie, our city administrator, will get in touch with you tomorrow after our conversation, okay, and give you an update. So we're going to reach out to them tomorrow. I'll personally call them, okay, and give you an update.
Do you really think it's going to do any good to call them?
And
They've gotten away with this for so long, it is absolutely ridiculous.
I have no other recourse. I really don't. If they had, like this company you're talking about, RLE, I think it was, they do work for them.
Right.
I think, as a matter of fact, they have them contracted to do different roads throughout the city. That's their contractor, but it's their responsibility.
Right.
It's the water companies. So the best we can do is go to the ones responsible for it, okay? We've had situations in the past where some of our utility companies had hired third parties that were not doing good work. We stopped them from working in the city. We pulled their permits. They're not allowed to work in the city anymore. That's happened before, okay? I can't say it's what's going to happen here, but we have done it before. We're going to give them a call tomorrow. We will call you personally tomorrow and give you an update. I don't know who stole the payload. I don't know that, but I don't know how they did that.
Come drive down that street, I'm telling you.
I know the one thing that was
Ridiculous.
the one thing that was sticking up was like a rubber hose, and that's a vent. We've had that through other areas that the water company works on. It actually vents the system. That's what it was probably in the middle of your road. It looks like a pipe, but it's actually
Yeah, it's like a pipe with a connector on it.
it's rubber, and that vents the system that they're working on. But let's get to more information for you tomorrow, okay?
Beth Ann McTavish.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and City Council, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I addressed City Council on July the 14th this year concerning the backup flooding problems of the storm basin in front of my residence at 82 Darling Street, and the most recent backup after which my car was totaled. On or about July 11th, a downpour occurred during the early morning hours of which I received no forewarning. This time, my car was completely flooded due to stormwater sewer basin overflow. The insurance company totaled my car. The electric components were completely destroyed. I submitted the entire statement for repair, along with pictures of the damage and documentation from my insurance company. I had to purchase another car and incur an unwarranted expense. I was perfectly happy with my former car with only 3,300 miles. Please let me refresh your memories. The sewage drain extending across the length of the one-way portion of Darling Street needs to be cleaned and properly maintained on a regular basis. Additionally, at least 3 smaller storm drains need installation at the points of Tank Hill and St. John's Cemetery, the entrance to the one-way portion of Darling Street coming from North Street, and along the residential portion of Darling Street. This is an ongoing problem for the past 30 years, to which I can't seem to get a resolution. DPW dismissed me with yada, yada, yada when I tried to discuss the problem. Additionally, during the winter months, the flow of a steady stream from Tank Hill creates an impassable ice pileup. I had to dial 911 more than once to get DPW to deal with the problem. Even then, the ice was pushed into the drain and blocked it up solid, and the continuing water from Tank Hill created a slippery ice pond on the street, which encased my car to the point that I couldn't move it. Furthermore, because the pipes in the sewage drain become frozen, I must run my water at a steady stream during the months of November through April, which adds to my water bill, because the pipes in my house freeze. I petitioned council that the sewage drain in front of my premises at 82 Darling Street, Wilkes-Barre, receive cleaning service on a regular schedule, at least twice yearly unless otherwise necessary, and at least 3 smaller drains be installed on the one-way part of Darling for relief of stormwater runoff, and that I get reimbursed for the total loss of my 2013 Hyundai car. I was offered $500, the cost of my insurance deductible. No remedy regarding the sewer and the installation of additional storm drains is forthcoming. I find both the offer of $500 and the deliberate neglect of the sewer deplorable and unacceptable, along with insulting. I still must move my car when it rains, most recently last night, to avoid the downpour and the predicted thunderstorms, and the sewage drain in front of my house remains in deplorable condition, emitting a foul odor. There is a sludge nearly to the top of the grate with a constant stream running through it. The drain also contains leaves from last year's autumn and the grass clippings that washed down from the housing units on Courtright Street. If you don't believe me, in the words of the incomparable Mae West, just come up and see me sometime, and I will show you. I also found this. It is my understanding from reading it that the sewage drains are going to be sold to WVSA. I don't know if that's true.
Do you have any comments for?
Ma'am, I'll have DPW go up and see what the circumstance is, if not tomorrow, Monday, about the storm drain itself. The rest of it is, we're talking about an extremely large expense to put in any type of additional stormwater lines down there, engineering and reconstruction to throw the water out somewhere. So I'll look at it with DPW, but that's a very large expense, and we have to figure out if it's capable of being accomplished.
I lost my car.
Ma'am,
It was sewage.
Ma'am, that's, your insurance company paid you. You have a difference of opinion with the solicitor's position. You were paid. You want additional money. That's in the legal process, as I referred to you, and you'll have to go through that process.
Linda Joseph. Should you talk on?
Linda Joseph, Wilkes-Barre. At the last council meeting, I had asked about if there was an update on Stanton Lanes, the former Stanton Lanes property, and the mayor said that he was going to talk to Pastor Brewster the next day. So I'm just wondering if we had an update on that. Secondly, I would like to say publicly that I want to thank the 2 DPW workers who were alert enough to see that there was a fire in Rolling Mill Hill yesterday, along with what I understand one of the neighbors who called 911, and were able to get them out because they weren't aware and save them and their pets. And the other thing is, with our South Station being realistically 1 block away from that fire, it's a wonderful thing to have them in the neighborhoods, because I'm sure they responded within seconds too. The last thing I wanted to just mention as a point of observation is, at a recent zoning meeting, I had seen a case where someone had come in for a variance, and they wanted, the variance said, to build a 20 by 60 garage in their yard. And I guess what happened was the garage was already built when they came. But from what I understand from Mr. Harris at the meeting, there was a stop order put on by the city, so either somebody reported them or the city saw it, and they stopped any work on it, which was, from what I even saw, was 99% done. So they said, if you go to zoning, and the variance was because they were only 1 foot away from the next door property, not the 5 that it's supposed to be. If you go to the zoning and they give you the variance, they had no permit. That's the whole point. That will give you the permit. So the garage was built without a permit, and they did give them the variance after the fact. So I'm assuming now they went back and they're going to get the permit and pay for whatever the permit would have cost, even if they had done it the right way, permit first and then proceed. But they didn't do it as per the rules of the city. So I looked up the ordinance about permits, and it said that if you build or do anything that requires the permit, if you do it without the permit, you will be fined $500 and up to $1,000 if you're not paid within 10 days. So they didn't say anything in zoning to them about anything like that. So I hope that that's an ordinance that's being enforced, because it's not fair. It's just not fair to the people who are doing it the right way and know what the rules are. So just as a point of information, I hope that's being paid attention to. They may not have even known that's what had to happen, but it's not fair. And again, of course, that's revenue for the city. So just something I wanted to bring to the attention. Thanks.
Tom Gagatek. Let's see, a bunch of them.
Hi, I'm Tom Gagatek. I'd like to just make a comment on some of the things that were mentioned in the past. I bring up a lot of times, and I think Jessica was supposed to check on the e-bikes and scooters. Excuse me. On the way up here, someone's coming down the middle of South Main Street on an e-bike, middle of the road. Okay, it's raining, dark clothes, no lights. I mean, they have no license on these machines, e-bikes or scooters. There should be some kind of maybe regulation in the city for safety reasons. I bring that up again for that purpose. And it seems like most of these e-bikes are black, and most of the people that ride them, they wear black clothing for some weird reason. Okay, now I want to get back to another thing that hasn't mentioned tonight, and that was mentioned by many people in the past with these, I think Jessica brought up about the amount of food trucks that are in the area. It seemed like it got quiet. They regulated, they do their things right. I didn't write that on the list. And it seems like there's more of them, where there's two. They're like more Ed, that area on the boulevard by Turkey Hill and that Cloud 10. There was a couple there, there's more, and there's somebody out there and selling a produce stand there. That's one other problem. But one thing I missed out on when we're talking about these grants, I was reading it here. All these grants, are they actually given to these associations, or they always don't get them? They put in for the grant, but they always get them. Because I had a list here that was in a newspaper here a while back about some of the grants that were awarded, and a lot of these for the city of Wilkes-Barre. But even this here latest one here, that doesn't mean they get them, because there's a grant put in, don't mean to actually get the money. Okay, but that's what that means. The grant is applied for money they might get. And just like we're saying before, Sam mentioned before, I mentioned other people before, I take my grandkids over to the Kingston pool. They keep it up nice. A lot of people from Wilkes-Barre go over there and all over the area. And it was mentioned before by our mayor, the pools leak, they cause the money, everything else, but we get grants for different things. And money to be awarded to the complex in Cole Street, there used to be a pool up there. One was even covered at one time. They sold the cover. It was enclosed, and it's a good location, there's a lot of property there. But that might be a good opportunity to get a grant, maybe to get a pool for the city of Wilkes-Barre. But a lot of this here grant money is going to things that the average people that live in Wilkes-Barre, I was mentioning this person, pay your taxes and stuff, and what it's actually given to the city. King's College, it seems like you're getting a lot of things. I don't hear much about Wilkes College or university getting any kind of grants or awards. It's mostly King's. And I realize that's a Jesuit institution, and I presume it should be safe for the people that go to school and attend there. But when we're putting grant money or try to get grant money to improve other facilities in the area, such as the Penn Plaza, where to me is just a hangout for people that don't work when I drive by there. I see a lot of people just sitting around playing cards, drinking different beverages and stuff. But why would that be designated to apply for a grant? And it's all for the betterment of the city and for residents. But what are we actually doing for residents? Now, where I live, I got a complaint. My wife said, make sure you bring it up. I live on Walnut Street. You turn down Ray Street to go up towards Elizabeth Street. The people have residences on South River Street, their backyards. Clutter, junk cars sitting on license plates and stuff, been sitting there for months, even years. And there's a boarded house up there that's been boarded up at the end of, I think it's Elder or Elk Lane. It's been boarded up, sitting empty for 20-some years. Quality of life, safety. I mean, and then when they have the barbecues there on the boulevard, they store the smoker in the backyard there. I don't know if that guy owns that property or whatever, doesn't matter, but the quality of life, I don't think in the city is taken care of accordingly the way it should be. And talking about grants before I get out to the subject about safety, some of the grants that would be awarded was the city to get more police cars, where they obtained. And we need new cars, of course, because these cars are on the road all the time, motors are running, and we need to help the police, safety-wise for them, as we've seen the disaster we had in York County this past week. But tragedies do happen. And other thing I wanted to mention, animals. Do we have an animal control in the city of Wilkes-Barre? In the neighborhoods, drive down, well, let's say South River Street, Franklin Street, anywhere at night, you see woodchucks, skunks, raccoons. It seems like the city downtown is breeding wild animals. They place it for them wrong, whatever. And I just wonder if that could be controlled in some way.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
You want to mention about e-bike?
I'll go over a couple of things. The e-bike, so as we talked about it on Tuesday, we are still working on it, but currently the e-bikes have to follow the rules. So if they're going north, they have to be in the northbound lane. If they're coming south, it's an enforcement. So if they are not following the driving rules, then that's illegal. So but we are still working on that. The food trucks. So
excuse me, would that be enforced by the police with these e-bikes?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
they're on the road, like now, when I was coming up there, it was a little bit dark. Like I said, these bikes are black. Most of these guys are wearing black clothing. You don't very rarely see a woman riding one. I mean, for their safety and for people who are crossing the street, whatever the case may be.
it would come down to
It
the
gets
police
struck, you can't see them.
enforcement.
And they do move fast.
So we are going to tighten that up. There is state regulations already for that, but we're just going to add some other things in it that would accommodate the city.
I believe that if something is licensed, it could be controlled by the state, if you got a state license, but since they don't have a license, maybe the municipality or the city
Okay,
can't control what's going on there.
the next thing you asked about were the food trucks. So there are an increased amount of food trucks, but I am being told that they're putting the applications in, they're getting inspected and doing everything they need to do. So there's, they're doing what they need to do based on the ordinance.
Good.
The grants.
Yep.
So Wilkes actually was here 2 weeks ago for the grants, so you missed that one. They do apply as well, and they do get awarded by I believe, by Harrisburg. So all we are is a conduit. So they apply for it, they may get the full amount, they may not get the full amount, they may not get anything at all. We don't set the guidelines on who can or cannot apply for that.
Right.
And I think, we do have animal control, and I believe 10 police cars are in order, correct?
Yep.
I mean, could random traps or something be put out, whatever?
If there's an animal that you need trapped, I'm sure if you call animal control, they would give you one, because I know I had a raccoon for a while. So they drop it off, and then you do whatever, and they come back and get it.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Sam Troy. Mr. Troy,
You're up.
you're up.
He seems confused.
Don't forget about the pool.
Can't keep track of everything. Thanks for reminding me. Some issues to go over here in a short time I have. First of all, I'm looking forward to the day, I hope it will be before I'm dead and buried, that we have a controller's report so that there could be more transparency regarding the city's finances. Don't you think that would be an advantageous thing for the public to view? For instance, how much money the city received through the ARP program, how it was distributed. I guess I could issue a right to know and find that out. But why should I have to do that? I know Mr. Thomas is receptive to the idea. I thought the mayor was, and I thought council was, but that idea obviously hasn't gone anywhere. I suppose the reason is that the council doesn't want to extend the meeting by a few minutes, God forbid, because you want to get home and eat your dinner. I don't mean to be rude or critical, but that's the way it seems to be. I don't know why that, I mean, I want to push 3 other items on my agenda that, 3 problems that I see that the city is confronting. It's more than 3, really, a lot more. But the 3 significant problems that the council and the mayor seem to be ignoring, which I know the mayor might repudiate. First of all, the issue of gun violence, which I have proposed. I wonder what Mr. Barrett's idea might be here, since he's an ex-police chief. We have 2 men in blue here. Don't think what happened in York County cannot happen here. And don't think what happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay, he was a prominent person. So, violence. We had violence, of course, on Hazel Street with an innocent woman getting killed. I propose to do something. So far, I haven't seen one good reason to deny that that might be effective. A gun buyback. Some people say it's not going to. The mayor thinks only good people will get rid of the guns. I disagree with that. I don't have time to argue the alternative. Mr. Brooks indicated he was for the idea and has backtracked on it. I would like to know, Tony, if you could.
I have not backtracked.
Well, you haven't indicated that you support it. You haven't brought it up. Any public discussion?
Given their gun. Continue, Sam.
I would like to know what, if any, objection. Maybe the men in blue can talk up. I mean, I'm concerned about their lives as well as public citizens, to even the odds. The more guns that are out there, don't you think the more dangerous it is? And we're not going to see any gun legislation on the state or the federal level. This is one way to control the propagation, the spread of guns around the city. When innocent people like that woman on Hazel Street got her life snuffed out by some, I'm not going on, what kind of person that would be. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. And I think it's disturbing for you, but you guys, for some reason, don't want to do anything about it. It's shameful. I want to talk a short time. I would like to know individually what your thoughts are. It doesn't have to be tonight. Towards this gun buyback, especially Mr. Barrett, who's an ex-police chief and who's a gun carrier. Okay, you don't think it's going to work? Let's list the reasons. Let's talk to the police chief. Let's have a public hearing on it, God forbid. Oh my God, a public hearing on a gun buyback. Environmental degradation. Ironically, the same day you guys approved 2 weeks ago, the $500,000 for Wilkes, I think it was $500,000, wasn't it, for the expansion of the nursing program? Okay, it's an LSA grant, it's got to be funneled through. But this city and the mayor and the council cannot do enough to kowtow to Wilkes College, whatever it needs, Wilkes University. On that same day, a grove of honey locust trees, and you know how I feel about trees, right? And you feel the same way, I assume, maybe the only council member, was destroyed. Have you seen it in front of 10 East South Street?
Horrible, yep.
The whole grove was destroyed. There were at least 12 trees, and you can't tell me those trees were diseased or damaged or were old. And there's nothing, as far as I could see, that's going to replace those. And now I just noticed in this one project, they're going to thin out some more trees that you guys just approved. CBLTD's Penn Plaza. They claim the trees there are old, aging. And we needed authority to come in and to approve that, by the way. Historical preservation, that's another item that I don't have time to talk about. I just want to touch with the remaining seconds I have, and that's another thing I want to put forward. I can't get enough in here. The public input time, and I think everybody here might agree, should be increased to at least 7 minutes. You know, when Kathy Kane and other people were here about 10, 15 years ago, it was 10 minutes. It has been down to 5 forever, and that's not fair. We're undermining our democracy by limiting people's time. I could go on for other things I have concern, but homelessness is one more issue that I wanted to bring up. It seems to be getting worse, And with the onset of fall and winter, the temperatures are going to get colder. What's going to happen to these people? So Keystone's not taking them in. Where are they going? They're putting up encampments, I guess. Maybe somebody could tell me, the mayor or somebody, what's going to be done here. That's all. I mean, I have more, but I don't have the time to talk about it, so I'd appreciate an answer, at least on the gun issue.
Brian Ferry.
Hi, Brian Ferry, 147 South Washington Street again. I'm so happy that other people have brought it up. I was going to talk to you folks about e-bikes today. I'm a big proponent for micromobility. I think that e-bikes and any kind of bike is fantastic, one of the most efficient ways to get around the city. But there's a massive education gap right there. I was out walking the dog just the other night and almost got taken out by someone on the sidewalk going 20 miles an hour on an e-bike. And it absolutely needs to be addressed. Back in... You have no insurance. Yeah, that's fine. Back in 2020, I believe, Luzerne and Lackawanna County worked together with a consultant to develop the bike ped study, and that focused on downtown Wilkes-Barre and downtown Scranton, and then connecting those two in between. But the focus was downtown Wilkes-Barre and downtown Scranton. And for 5 years, and we had $38 million in ARPA money come through, and we still don't have any cycling infrastructure. It could just be signage saying cyclists may use full lane. It could be bike symbols painted on the street. But there needs to be education because so many people don't understand how to ride a bike, where to ride a bike. I'm a cyclist. I've ridden vast amounts of distances, and just around here, I get yelled at, get the F off the road, get all the hostility. I see it all. And we have this plan, and we're not doing anything. And it's really coming to a boil now because micromobility is becoming so prominent. And again, it's a great way to get around town. I'm all for e-bikes. But there's just a lack of awareness on how to ride, where to ride, what etiquette is. So if we could do something in regards to that, that would be great. Again, there's a bike ped study out there. I encourage all of you to at least flip through it. Very informational. I could send you guys the link for it if you want. It's also on the
MPO.
I was going to say it's on the MPO website.
Okay.
And I was going to touch on something else that Sam was talking about too, and I don't remember. So I'll wrap it up there. I'll email you guys when I remember.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Completely agree with you, too. Any other comments? I understand we have 3 students here. You're here to observe democracy in action. What do you think? Is it what you expected? What school are you from? Misericordia. Is he here for a class to see?
He is. We're just tagging along.
You just tagged along. Oh, well, you owe him a drink then. Well, I hope we didn't disappoint you. All right. Anyone else? We're good?
Yep.
All right. See you at the next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go back. I missed the show, right?